job in the game, balancing diplomacy with results. 3 months ago, Gritt was seen as the puppies of Brighton chairman Bill Archer, who sold the Goldstone Ground, has yet to find a replacement and can't come to home matches. But in December, even Alex Ferguson would have struggled to win over Brighton's fans.
They didn't want to see anyone, to be honest. I think they were quite happy if nobody had taken the job to strengthen their protest towards the board. But they weren't to know that they were going to offer it to somebody who'd been out of work for 18 months. But when I came down, there was graffiti on the wall. I was basically chanted out before I'd even kicked the ball with the team.
You've got to go, Archer! Go!
I definitely did underestimate the feeling. I thought I knew what I was coming into, but I never realised the depth of the feeling of the fans towards the board. And as I said, since then I've had a meeting with one of the branches, and they've basically explained to me a lot of the things and the reasons why they're protesting.
Yeah. You're not going to throw an extra one into the box. You make sure you come off the bar.
I think the fact when I came in, we won our first 2 games, and all of a sudden, I think there was a little bit of a lift about the place, and the players probably realised now that, you know, that they probably had a chance of doing something if they kept on doing what they were doing.
Before Christmas, not even the local Coast Guard thought Brighton could be rescued. They were 11 points adrift at the bottom. But 6 wins in 7 home games have coincided with talks that could see Mr. Archer finally hand control to a consortium backed by the supporters. There's a revivalist feeling. 9,000 turned up for Saturday's match.
We always knew that we didn't need a big-name manager. We don't need the ego that goes with it. We just need someone who rolls their sleeves up and does the business and gets the team and the spectators right behind everyone. And it's good for the town, good for the county of Sussex.
They're really getting behind the team now. I know when I arrived, they had other things on their mind and perhaps weren't that concerned about the side. But they now realise the team's got a chance, they realise the club's got a chance, and because of that, they're really getting behind the team now.
After 6 months at the bottom of the league, victory on Saturday could have lifted Brighton out of the dreaded drop zone. 4 minutes was all it took for Craig Maskell to skip through the Leyton Orient defence to score the opening goal. 90 seconds later, Maskell had done it again. Gritt's team has a place for 2 wingers, and one of them, Paul McDonald, did superbly. Maskell's diving header matched the approach. Only the top 3 teams in the 3rd division have scored more home goals than Brighton, and they could have been 3 up had referee Stretton seen McDonald fouled by goalkeeper Luke Weaver. Orient was still alive, and the first 10 minutes of the second half transformed the atmosphere. Lee Hodges cut the ball back for Orient's £100,000 striker Carl Griffiths to score a debut goal. Before Brighton had come to terms with conceding 1, they'd conceded another. Justin Channing crossed for the unmarked Alex Inglethorpe. With Ray Wilkins overseeing their dominance, Orient's 3rd wasn't long in coming. Griffiths applied the finish. The Brighton boss tried to remain cool, and 20 minutes later his players had shrugged off the shell shock sufficiently to conjure an equaliser made by McDonald and scored by Ian Baird. But then came breaking points. Orient swept straight to the other end, where Scott McGleish made it 4-3. McGleish might have gestured at the home fans, but that doesn't excuse what followed. As Orient celebrated, one supporter gate-crashed. His target appeared to be McGleish, and contact was made. Then another uninvited guest ran on. Wilkins saw him coming towards the referee and tried to intervene. So eventually did police and stewards, but more scuffles ended with a 3rd invader being dragged to the ground after apparently trying to hit several Orient players. Brighton have already had 2 points docked for crowd trouble, and although Saturday's mindless hooligans have been banned for life from the club, damage has been done. The players were professional, nobody more so than McDonald, who converted a penalty to make it 4-4. But the FA have promised an immediate investigation, and after all he's achieved, Steve Gritt's chances of a happy ending have suffered their first setback.
We've worked hard to get into the position we have so far, and obviously any more points we lose now would be a bitter blow to us. You know, I just hope now we can get back on and concentrate on the pitch again now.
we shall certainly make a complaint to the FA. Our players have been kicked and punched by Brighton supporters. What do you want me to do? There's no question in my mind that action will be taken by the FA.
And that undermines so much that Steve Gritt has been doing here to get Brighton in contention to stay out of trouble.
But you cannot have supporters run on the pitch and punching football players. And if you let this go without punishment, you are encouraging the mindless few around the country that every time the opposition score, hey, let's run on the pitch and kick the bloke that scored. You can't have that. And that message will be put across, and I'm sure the FA will do the necessary. And it is doomsday for Brighton on the basis of what's happened today.